All right, today's Scribblecast deals with the dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking negative, dealing with those within expressions, and also doing rules for order of operations. Remember the Badmus thing, we have sort of a variation on that. First off, dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking negatives. That was Steve Penny that introduced me to that name. It was after an exam, and he did real well, except for some of the negatives got him down, so he named them that. And they're things to be careful of. So whenever you see a negative sign in front of a bracket, like these ones here, what you need to do is apply that negative. I guess it's the distribution property. Distribute it amongst both things inside the bracket. Again, keep it in mind that inside right now this x is positive. So when you distribute the negative in, it becomes a negative x. And the 4 is positive. When you distribute in the negative, it becomes a negative 4. So this expression here is the same as that one. Similarly in here, this one, and some people just apply the minus to the first one, and that's incorrect. You've got to apply it to every term that's inside. So this would be a minus 2x. The minus and the minus would cancel, so it'd be a positive 5y. And minus times a positive is a negative 3. You can think of it if you want as a negative 1, and that you multiply by each thing inside there. That works too. So this last one, is this my last one? Yeah. Apply that in, that'd be a positive 3p, a negative 4q, and a positive 16. Hopefully when you get doing them, it just becomes natural how you do that. Notice now that there was just a negative sign in front of the bracket, but we also need to be able to do that, like this one would be negative 4x minus 7, but we also need to be able to do that within an expression like these. So here I would probably rewrite this as 3y minus 2, and then here's the dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking negative right there. I need to apply it to both things there. So it'd be a minus 2y and a positive 5. And then, like we did in the last section, you would collect like terms. 3 up 3y, lose 2, so you're down to 1y. You're down 2, you gain 5, so you're up 3. So that would be the simplification of that. Try the next two. Pause and then play and see how you do. So this one I'd do the same as what I did before, just leave that first stuff and then multiply that through. So it'd be a negative 3 times 2 would be a negative 6y. Negative 3 times negative 5 would be a positive 15. And then simplify. Up 5, lose 6, you're down a y. Up 16, get another 15, so you're up 31. That would be my answer for that one. Here's one with fraction. You can do it with that too. The 3x stays, and then I have to multiply this through. Minus 1/5 times 10x would be a negative 2x. Minus 1/5 times a negative 15 would be a positive 3. Now simplify. 3x minus 2x would be just 1x, and there's no like terms to the 3, so I just leave it. Okay, we've seen how to use some brackets, but you can also get multiple brackets. And whenever you have multiple brackets, what you want to do is look for the outside ones and work in and find the innermost, and that's where you want to start doing your operations. So here's a bracket and here's a bracket. So I have to do stuff within there, but then here's another bracket and there's where it closes. Okay, but then I still have another one inside that. So here's a bracket and there's a bracket. So these ones are on the inside, so this is where I need to start. So I go 23 take away 5, that's 18. And then once I've done what's inside a bracket, I can drop that bracket. So now I've got this, and then a 5 takeaway, and I have those funny squiggly ones on the outside. Now I need to do what's inside the innermost one, so it'd be 15 take away 18. I'm going to continue my answer up here. So I'd have a 5 here, minus, and then I'm up 15, lose 18, so I'd be down 3. So down 3. Again, I drop my brackets once I've done that operation. In here, this is a little awkward. Sometimes the book put just brackets around there just so you don't have a minus and a negative together. But we know what to do with those. I subtract a negative I'm going to add the opposite, so those will just change. So it'll be 5 plus 3, which of course the answer is 8. There's another one, outside bracket, inside bracket, so I need to do this first. So I leave the 32 alone and the divide. 16 divided by -4 is a -4. Again, some people put that in brackets just to separate the negative sign out, but you could write it like that too. 32 divided by 4 is an 8. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. Okay, here's another long one. Maybe try that one. Press pause and then come back and see how I do it. Okay, bracket, bracket, bracket inside. I can't really do anything there, but I could use the distributive property on that. So I'd be getting 3x minus 9 plus 5x. Notice I dropped those inner brackets. Minus, there's another big bracket. So I'm going to use distributive property on these two. So it'll be 3y plus 6. Uh-oh, dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking right there. Minus 5 times y is minus 5y. Minus 5 times a minus 1 is a positive 5. There. Now, see if I can collect things within that bracket. 3x plus 5x would be 8x, take away 9. Minus, can I collect inside here? 3y minus 5y would be a minus 2y. And 6 plus 5 would be 11. Good. Oh no, there's another dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking negative right there. So I'll drop the brackets of the first because I've done everything I can within them. But then this minus sign gets applied to both terms inside that bracket. So it'll turn out to be a positive 2y and a negative 11. Now I take a look to see if I can simplify any more. 8x and 2y, can't do anything with that. They're not the same. But minus 9 minus 11, I can do that. I'm in the whole 9, I lose another 11, so I'm down 20. So that would be my answer, or simplification, to that expression there. Okay, sort of the last concept is this thing that most people have learned it as being Badmus. But one of the issues with doing Badmus is inherent in here it says you do divide before you do multiply. But that's not true. You do whichever of those come first. Same thing with add and subtract. So I like how the textbook goes through it. They say do anything inside brackets, and really it's a grouping symbol because it could be brackets, it could be a square root symbol, it could be parentheses, it could be absolute value. Anything within a grouping symbol first, then apply any exponents, then do multiply or divide from left to right. Okay, so whichever comes first, then do add or subtract, whichever comes first. Let's try it here. Grouping symbols. There's no brackets. I guess there's brackets here, but there's nothing in there that I can do. So that step's done. Exponents, there aren't any. Done. Multiply or divide from left to right. So here I come. There's a divide. So I'm going to do that one first. Minus 36 divided 9 would be negative 4. And I like to just do one step at a time and write everything else out. Then I look again at it, and I'm still in this multiply or divide set. I still have another divide there. So I can divide those. Minus 56 divide minus 7. Minus divide minus would be a positive. 56 divided by 7 is 8. And I'll leave my minus 4 out front there. So now I've taken care of any multiplication or division. Now I do add or subtract left to right. I only have one operation left. And so I'm in the whole 4. I gain 8. So I'm going to be up 4. So my answer to this question, positive 4. Let's try a couple of those. Maybe try them, pause, and then come back and see how you do. Okay, hopefully we're back. I'm taking a look here. I see brackets. I'm going to work on that. Inside, it's not really a bracket. I guess it's an absolute value. Inside there I have exponents, so that's what I'll do first. 2 cubed is 8. 5 squared is 25. Okay, good. This one I'm going to have to move down. Somewhere down there. Okay, now let me write everything else. I guess I could do this. It's sort of in isolation, these things. So minus 3 cubed. 3 cubed is 27, and I have a minus sign out front. The 3 is only cubing the 3 here, but not cubing the negative sign. So I'm stuck with that negative. Plus 16 times 5 is about 80. Minus 2 to the 4th is 16, I think, plus that. Okay, so let's keep going. Minus 27 plus 80 minus 16. Let's do what's inside here. 8 take away 25 would be negative 17. Negative 17. Now I can apply that absolute value sign. Absolute value of a negative 17 would be a positive 17. So let me rewrite the whole thing again. Plus a positive 17. And I get rid of those absolute value signs. Now, left to right, so I've gotten rid of brackets or grouping symbols. I've got rid of exponents. I also have got rid of divide and multiply. They're done. So now all I have to do is add or subtract, whichever comes first. So here we go. I've got an add right there. Let's add those two. So that would be about, I don't know, 53. I'm down 27, I gain 80. I think that's 53. And I'll just write whatever's left there. Notice how I like to do things in one step. You can do multiple steps at a time as long as you always get them right. If you start mixing up or messing up, then slow down and do less steps in your head at a time. 53 take away 16. Oh, what would that be? 37, I think, plus 17. And then 37 plus 17 would be 54. So that would be my answer to that question there. Let's try this one at the bottom. Fractions, you gotta like those, eh? Now again, you can treat fractions as do everything on the top, then do everything on the bottom, and then divide. So on the top here, I don't have anything within brackets really that I can do, nor do I have any exponents on the top. I guess I have exponents on the bottom. Let's do those. 3 minus 4 minus 2 times negative 23 over 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4. Okay, now I've done all my exponents. Now I do multiply, divide. So up at the top here, there's a multiply, so I'll do that. So 3 take away 4. Minus 2 times a minus 23 would be a positive 46. Okay, over 9 take away 4, might as well do that while we're there. Now I've got, these things are still grouped right because there's a bracket on the top, so I need to get this done. 3 take away 4 is negative 1 plus 46 over 5. Negative 1 plus 46 will give me 45 over 5. Guess I could put equal signs beside each of these. And finally, 45 divided by 5 is 9. So 9 would be my answer to that question. Hopefully you got that. Careful with your negative signs, that's typically where you might go wrong. So in this Scrabble cast, we've looked at DRFSN, making sure we apply that negative sign to each thing in the brackets. And we've also looked at orders of operations. Okay, so now time to go to class and practice some of those questions.